Blessings family, welcome to another video. This is Lady Be Unstoppable, and if you're new here, remember to subscribe. In this video I am going to be talking about a variety of things, but the main focus is gonna be on the state of emergency that is in 7 parishes. So there was also a feedback on that where Bunting, he described that as a political theater. So make we get in at the first part of the article. And this news just come in, say 5 young Jamaican men and a fugitive held on drug charges in Florida. How are this? Papa Jesus. Anyway, guys, how is everybody doing? You know, how is everybody really doing? It's really a trying time for everyone. So, I just wanna check in, see how everybody are do, and you know, just go and encourage, like throw out some encouraging words. Keep the faith, stay strong, and all of that because it's not really easy. Yeah, it's not easy. Just stay strong, everybody. If you go through some struggles or whatever the case may be, if you have people who you can confide in, if you reach out to, do that. If you have to reach out to some person who know in terms of a professional, on a professional basis, then do that. But I'm just saying, don't keep nothing to yourself. Reach out to somebody. All right. So right about now, I'm gonna get into the article with regards to the state of emergency. Now, there was an increase, or there's an increase in murder, and that has pushed the chief Anderson, Commissioner of Police, General Anderson, Major General Anderson, to order some state of emergency. And let me go into the article. All right. So, the increase in murders as the main reason that necessitated the imposition of state of emergency. So basically they are saying they have imposed state of emergency in 7 parishes. I'm going to hear the parishes them now. I'm going to go ahead and share out this live. And if you're going to watch this when I'm no longer live, just remember, drop a like, drop a share. And if you are new, just remember to subscribe. All right. So, all right. Let me share this out real quick. And when me finish, me just share it on Facebook. Because right now, I want to get into the article. All right. So, these are the parishes that has a state of emergency. And SOE, that means state of emergency. The other day I was talking about acronyms. All right. So the first one, Kingston, Southern Arc of Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, that are 3, Clarendon, that are 4, the Tri-Parish, them to say it now, the Tri-Parish, Westmoreland, Hanover, and St. James. Prime Minister Andrew Holness announced the state of emergency, and that was on during a media briefing at the office of the Prime Minister Tuesday morning, where he cited the increase in murders and gang activities is a justifiable cause for that high security measure. Anthony Anderson was speaking at the, why am I say Anthony Anderson? Anyway, speaking at the same briefing, Anderson noted that up to Sunday, November 13, it was a total of 1,360 MURDERS committed in Jamaica. Right? So he's saying that it represents an increase of 6.8% same time last year. You know? So there is an increase, so they want to bring it down. And therefore, they come up with the state of emergency. And they said 72%. The state of emergency has been declared account for 72% of the MURDERS and 75% of the SHOOTINGS carried out. Wait there, let me read this again. The country's top cop, Dr. Anderson, said that 10 of the 19 police divisions that fall in the areas where a state of emergency have been declared account for 72% of the MURDERS and 75% of the SHOOTINGS. So that means, this is what it boils down to. The 7 parishes combined account is an account of 72%. So 72% of the murder them take place in the 7 parishes there. And 75% of the shootings take place in the 7 parishes there. That's what this data is telling me. So the main driver of these violent crimes continue to be gang violence, which accounts for 71% of all the MURDERS, and interpersonal conflict, which account for another 16% of these MURDERS. The numbers then, let me say, all right, let me say 71% is gang violence and 16% are interpersonal conflict. He said the police have reaped some of the successes while he announced at a press conference in February that they would be targeting GUNS, gang, and GUNMEN. He pointed out also that year to date, 675 illegal firearms have been seized and 10% increase over 2021. So it's a 10% increase last year this time, or this year in comparison to last year this time. So while the police have disrupted GUN runners and contract KILLERS on their way to perpetrate the crime, Anderson said that the JCF has achieved these successes in collaboration with the partners, including the JDF, detailed policing and security plans. There is an urgency to what we do as a society, and it's on the basis that there's no place for reticence in using every tool. Why they can't use big word, man? That is available to use collectively in order to deal with this situation. It's so we're going to start the blottering or the bloodletting. So basically, he's saying when they do the state of emergency, that will help decrease the number of bloodshed. Anderson told the media briefing that it was against the backdrop, in conjunction with the Chief of Defense Staff, Rear Admiral Antoinette Gorman, that he requested the use of emergency powers under a limited state of emergency. Right? He highlighted that during the previous SOE, there was an average of 40% reduction in MURDERS. So basically, what Anderson is saying is that when they had the state of emergency, there was a decrease of 40% in murders. Therefore, they're gonna go ahead and implement that once again. So make we hear what Andrew have to say. Prime Minister Andrew Holness made an announcement while during a media briefing about state of emergency that is in the 7 parishes. I may just name them, but me can't name them again. They are St. Catherine, Clarendon, parts of Kingston, St. Andrew, and them call it the Tri Parish. Them a must triplet, St. James, Hanover, and Westmoreland. The Prime Minister said that the SOE were declared following the recommendation of the security chief amongst worrying signs of increase in criminal activities to include GAN activities, GANG, and boy, Christmas they come on, you know, so you don't know, and now the robbery they go step up and all of that. So, you know, guys, just let me know what you think. If you think that the state of emergency is gonna help decrease the crime and violence based on the data they had last year, if it's, I mean, not last year, but the last time they had the state of emergency, if you think it's also going to be effective at this time. He said the approach of Christmas season also requires the deployment of greater resources that the security forces do not have. And therefore, the government has to act in a proactive way. So basically, um, they want to maximize the resources that they have to save lives and property from the threats that is existing. So the threat they said would cause an increase in the number of murders and homicides that they're going into the next few weeks, and they want, well, they have seen an increase in murders over the last 6 months. So right about now they are trying to make sure that it does not increase. All right, let me see if this is gonna play. Wait, why this is not why this is not here? Let me see something. So basically, state of emergency is in action for 7 parishes. Let me try to fix this. Settings. I'm not understand this now. That is not connected to the internet. AT&T. Praying.
The Most Honorable Sir Patrick Allen declared a state of public emergency in the parishes of Clarendon, St. Catherine, and specified areas in the parishes of Kingston and St. Andrew, and a state of public emergency as well in the parishes of St. James, Westmoreland, and Hanover. So there are two separate declarations of states of public emergency. One we consider to be the Southern Crescent, and the other the Western Tri-Parishes. The Commissioner of Police and the Chief of Defense Staff will give details on these declarations. The government, after careful consideration on the advice of the security chiefs, decided to advise the Governor General that it was necessary and indeed appropriate to declare states of public emergency in these areas. We have seen an increase in criminal activities in these areas, and indeed a threat to property and, in some instances, public disorder. It is important to note that we are also approaching the Christmas season, and this will require the deployment of even greater resources, sometimes resources that our security forces do not have, and therefore the government has to act in a preemptive way. The government has to act in such a way as to maximize the resources that we have to save lives and property from the threats that exist.
All right, so that was the Prime Minister Andrew Holness shedding some light on the state of emergency situation going on back at home. Now, there are some other things I want to talk about. I want to mention some other things. Let me get back on the article. Mm-hmm. So, I saw this video going around where this professional clown was caught on camera. And it says professional clown caught on camera arresting passengers. Um, and basically, based on the picture, it look like say the brother went a ball. Me no know. Me read the article see what go on. A self-described professional clown got a lot more than he bargained for when the police arrested and charged him after he was captured on video removing passengers from a vehicle in downtown Kingston on Monday. Really? The police reported Monday evening that the man who was seen in the video that went viral harassing and intimidating passengers in a taxi on the first day of the withdrawal of services by transport operations has been charged. So there was, I don't know if it's still going on, but there was a strike going on in Jamaica with the taxi men strike. The man, 32-year-old Romain Silveira, had been charged with assault at common law, disorderly conduct, and indecent language. Mm. Silveira, who gave the occupation as a professional clown, was captured on camera demanding that passengers exit a taxi that was allegedly unwilling to participate in Monday's protest, demanding that a traffic ticket amnesty be granted by the authorities. The strike is expected to continue to Tuesday, which was yesterday. Earlier Monday, the police had appealed to taxi operators and passengers who were subject to intimidation and or harassment by thugs due to the industrial action to let them know. Several anonymous videos and voice notes have been circulating on social media, suggesting persons are being expected or impeded from entering vehicles and forcibly removed from vehicles. This is unlawful, the police said. They had also urged taxi operators participating in the protest to do so peacefully without interfering with others seeking to move about their lawful businesses. Silveira is scheduled to appear before the courts January 12th. So basically, him a go and intimidate people, pull them out of taxi and all of that because of the strike, and um, he got charged for that or arrested for that. Oh yeah, charge. Yeah, right? So that's another update. And I don't know if this strike is still continuing. I'm gonna have to search and see. So guys, in the meantime, if you're new to the channel and you're not yet subscribed, go ahead, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll know whenever I have more videos or whenever I go live. Go ahead and share out the share, share and share. All right, let me see what else I want to talk about. Oh yes, and basically after the state of emergency was put in place, the opposition spokesman on national security, Senator Peter Bunting, had described the whole incident or the whole situation as a political theater. All right. He went ahead to say this is not about law and order. This is not about reducing violent crimes. This is about political theater and political propaganda. The main core competence of this Andrew Holness led administration, declared Bunting on Wednesday, that are today. All right. So Andrew Holness at a conference Tuesday, he cited the increase in murders and decided that they have to take drastic security measure in 7 parishes. However, Bunting is pushing back against the latest use of SOE as a crime fighting tool, even amid the hope expressed by the wholeness that the opposition People's National Party would support the measure, given that he said some of his own parliamentarians has appealed to him for help with crime in their respective constituency. It is reasonable to conclude that the declaration of the state of emergency across a number of parishes in the Prime Minister performing is the Prime Minister performing political theater. That's what Bunting had to say. I wonder what I mean by that. He said a national security member and Deputy Prime Minister Dr. Horace Chang is trying to build, oh, this is what he mean by that, is trying to build interest for Sunday's JLP annual conference. Had indicated weeks before the Wholeness would announce something. At the time, Chang, the JLP General Secretary, had stated that the Prime Minister would be unveiling the government's plan to tackle crime. Bunting also took a spike at Chang for his continued management by excuse his approach to his portfolio, arguing that from last weekend the National Security Minister had been willing to go back 7 years to say that we, the PNP, didn't fund the police adequately. In fact, he, that's Chang, copied the defund the police slogan that is popular in the USA. But the truth of the matter is, we could all see this building up to try to create some interest in their that's the JLP conference. So basically, what Bunting is saying is that it is a strategy for the JLP to get people to come to the conference. So guys, just let me know what you think in the comment section. What you think about these thoughts that Bunting had. Aiming himself. Where may reach? No, sorry, may not reach. But the truth of the matter is, we could see all this building up to try to create some interest. Okay, so arming himself with purported police statistics, Bunting said since this year, Kingston and St. Andrew has been among the few parishes in which significant reductions have been seen in murders and shooting. So basically, he's using data to support the fact that he don't think this is gonna work. According to him, MURDERS were down by 17.5%, while SHOOTINGS decreased by 23%. Yet in the state of emergency, has been declared, yet a state of emergency has been declared in Kingston and St. Andrew. So even by JLP justification of using it to address increase in violent crime, that doesn't qualify. So basically, he's saying that murders was already down by 17.5%, and the shootings were already down by 23%. So the state of emergency in Kingston and St. Andrew would not be applicable based on the data he's looking at, because him said it already did decrease. He said, curiously, MURDERS in St. Elizabeth, Trelawney, and Manchester had increased by more than 70% so far this year. Yet, SOE were not declared in any of these areas. Really? The opposition has long held the routine. I true because of the, well, me not mean say I true to what him said, but I know there's a lot of stuff that happened in you know, Saint Elizabeth. Even the one teacher where they did dash where at Saint Elizabeth she did come from. The opposition had long held that the routine use of state of emergencies as a tool of policing is unconstitutional. The courts have upheld that view in at least two cases, one of which is now before the Court of Appeal. We would have anticipated that the government, out of respect for judgments of the court, would not continue this unconstitutional use, Bunting said. Pushing back at Wholeness, hope that the opposition would support the current SOE and at extension to be sought by the government. Bunting said that the JLP leader, while in opposition, said this crime fighting is not a whole of society approach. This is the responsibility of government. This is a lot. There's a lot that can be done. So that's what he is saying. So the article long. 7 years later, said the former PNP Parliament MP, we still haven't seen what that lot is from the Prime Minister. And now he, in wholeness, is constantly seeking to deflect responsibility from himself, the figure in authority, to the opposition. Anyway, Bunting charged that the country is now fed up with such an approach, pointing to the JLP administration's time in office for 11 of the last 15 years. Stop trying to blame others, or, as former opposition leader Keith Rowley of TNT said, when a government is constantly blaming an opposition for their failure to perform, it's time to go. So that's what Bunting had to say regarding the state of emergency that the prime minister declared in Jamaica. So guys, let me know what you think. Drop your comment in the comment section, and remember that if you're new here, um, make sure to. I would appreciate if you subscribe to the channel. All right, I have one more that I'm gonna talk about, and it is 5 men and a fugitive held in drug charges in Florida. Okay, so this now come up. All right, so 5 Jamaican men who allegedly fled with another man who is wanted to the connection to a DEADLY shooting in Brooklyn. Misspelled the wrong word. United States last month were arrested by police and slapped with drug charges in Florida. Anika Green was wanted for allegedly firing several shots inside a restaurant in October, resulting in the death of an innocent bystander. According to the report from the media newsroom on Tuesday, Green was tracked down by Panama City police in Florida, where he was arrested at the condo with five, five Jamaican men who were described as his associates. The Jamaicans are Jaheim Cox, I'm not say if you don't know none of their name, yeah. Shamar Wedderburn, Renaldo Campbell, Sean Marie Livingston, and Kevar Taylor. They were all charged with possession of marijuana and intent to distribute, possession of MDMA, and possession of paraphernalia. Reports on social media suggest that the Jamaican men are from the inner city community in the corporate area. Green is also charged with the offenses that has been laid against the Jamaicans, but he was slapped with additional offense, including being a fugitive from Jamaica for the charges of robbery and homicide. Further, he's charged with giving false name to law enforcement. It is alleged that Green was involved in an argument at a restaurant in Brooklyn, and I said alleged, so these are just allegations. Shooting after leaving the returned and fired several SHOT. After leaving, he returned and fired several SHOTs in the building. So he was in argument with a, in the, he was in argument with somebody at Brooklyn when he left and came back with and fired several shots. When the shooting subsided, an innocent bystander was found with a bullet wound. That unidentified person later succumbed to the injuries that were sustained. The U.S. Marshal Service contacted the U.S. The Bay County Sheriff Department in Florida on November 9 for assistance in locating Green, who the former suspect had fled to the Panama City area. Last week, law enforcement officials confirmed that Green was staying at a condo in Panama City and obtained a search warrant. After the search of the building was concluded, Green and 5 others detained when several hundred grams of the weed, MDMA pills, and more than 23,000 were seized. It added, deputies say the men were from Jamaica and came to, I wonder if they come from Jamaica for real, to Panama City with Green after he committed the shooting. Interestingly, Green was out of bond in New York, in a New York relative to a firearm charge from September of this year when he allegedly fired SHOTS inside the Brooklyn restaurant. So it's a lot going on. It's a whole lot going on here. But guys, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. Go ahead and check out the other videos on my YouTube channel. Man Chase and SHOT in Alfred Street, Kingston. I think this happened yesterday, Come I did do the story here and I never have it time. A man was SHOT and KILLED by GUNMEN at a particular plaza in the Alfred Tree St. Andrew on Tuesday. Reports are that the minutes after the shooting, the armed thug was fleeing the scene when he was confronted by a police officer, which resulted in a running gun battle. However, the shooter managed to escape. People during doing business in the space were sent scampering for cover as the loud explosions echoed in the commercial area. Several motor vehicles were reported damaged. Really? Reports are that the victim was heading to the passport office when he was trailed and SHOT several times when he was headed back to his vehicle in the plaza. So that's what's up, guys. Drop a like, drop a share, drop a comment, and as I said at the beginning of the video, just checking to see how everybody is doing. And I said earlier, it's a lot going on in this world. The stress is real. You understand? The struggle is real. And if you guys have somebody who you can talk to, if you're not a no trusted family member, go ahead and get a professional, because I'm telling you guys, when it comes on to certain things, it is real. So I'm going to say this once more. Be safe. Take care of yourself. Remember, self care is very, very important and very necessary. All right. Sometimes we work, do for everybody else and we forget ourselves. But no, we have to understand that if you can't take care of yourself, there's no way you're going to be capable to take care of other people. So please take care of yourself. Thank you guys for watching. And remember, if you're new to the channel, you have not yet subscribed, please do so. Hit the notification bell as well so you'll know whenever I have another video or whenever I am live. Thank you guys for watching. Have a safe week and stay safe.